Welcome to the Ghosts and Ghouls podcast. I'm your host, Tyler, and with me, I have the goblin, gutter gremlin gooner himself, co-host Anthony.
Okay. that was a tongue full.
A little bit. I had to prepare myself. That's why I was licking my... How you doing today?
Doing good. I'm doing good.
If you're new here, this is how this works. I'm going to read Anthony here, a fictional horror story about some kind of cryptid monster, ghost, ghoul, gremlin, goblin, extraterrestrial, paranormal entity, monster thing, where I've removed the name of the thing from the story and replaced it with descriptions. Then Anthony here gets to guess and see if he can guess what we're talking about today. Then after that, we'll do a history of the creature and its origins. Then we'll look into its pop culture, if it has any significant pop culture references. And then a little what would you do if you had to fight this thing scenario. And finally, our monster movie maker moment where we'll come up with a glorious movie idea. Maybe describe some shots, a little bit of script action, maybe some casting options, we don't know. Just even picking a genre, horror comedy, horror romance, bromance, just snuff film, we don't know.
Gosh.
Maybe we'll do porn one time. I don't know. So yeah.
Just want to go ahead and take this quick second to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on for any notifications to stay updated for when we post, as well as follow us on our Instagram and TikTok. We've been posting a lot more on there, as well as there is a link in the description below to come and support us and to also download all of our podcasts if you don't want to watch on YouTube. You can just have the audio versions of it. It help us out. Greatly appreciated.
Leave a rating if you listen. If you're one of our audio people, leave us a rating. 5 stars. Tell them in the rating, Anthony sounds sexy AF. I want to know what that tongue do.
See, I was just thinking a 5-star and then just like the worst thing you could ever possibly say. You just
also fun. If you want to see the raw, uncut, edited version of these takes, we're on Patreon now. Okay, it's $1. You can go up there, you get the episode a day early, and you can watch all the slip ups and the fuck ups and everything else that I'm going to stumble through reading, because I swear my tongue is too big for my mouth. Cool?
Yeah,
you cool?
I'm good. Yeah,
You're
cool.
Good?
I'm cool. Yeah, I'm good.
You good? You chilling?
Yeah, I'm chilling. I'm good.
How's that new?
I'm good.
How's that new Baja?
Not sponsored, by the way.
Cabo citrus. That's what it is. It's Cabo citrus, tropical citrus punch.
Caboo.
That's an O. It's under the J.
That is a U. Oh, it is an O.
See what I'm working with here, people?
Well.
So to get this started, I give Ant here 3 yes or no questions to kind of narrow down what we might be talking about, or possibly a location, something along those lines. He bounces all over the place. I've kind of thought he would kind of go to like a standard 3 questions, but he hasn't yet. Now, I will say this. In season 0, we were all over the globe. I was throwing darts anywhere and everywhere. We were talking about this monster, that monster. We went from the Philippines to Europe to Africa, back to Europe, back to Europe, back to Europe, and then back to North America, and then back to Europe. We're in Europe a lot. But for season 1, we've primarily focused on the North American continent. So, are you ready, Anthony?
Absolutely. But what do you mean by standard questions?
So I thought you were going to go into like, you know how, like, have you ever done the Wordle?
No.
You've never played Wordle?
No.
Do you know what Wordle is?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody comes up with like a standard word for the Wordle.
Okay.
Right? And it'd be like, I'm going to put this in first because this is going to give me a little bit of information, right? And I thought like you would come up with like 3 questions like, is it corporeal? Meaning, is it like physical? Or, so that tells you we're either talking about something that has a physical body or talking about some kind of paranormal entity.
We're going at the $10 words. All right, I'm not there.
I've been
yet.
reading a lot lately.
Corporeal.
Yeah.
I don't
Or
even know
you
if
could, you could potentially, is it older than 100 years old?
Well, that's what I say. Like, is it a demonic entity? You know?
Yeah, but demonic entity and ghost are two very different things. But if you said, does it have a physical form, then that takes it a little bit
I've been
different.
saying, like, is it bipedal? Is
Yeah,
it lives
yeah.
underwater? Or can it survive underwater?
But I
you
don't.
know?
But you haven't really done the same question multiple times to really like lock in. And I think, hear me out. I think by the middle of the season, by the middle of the year, you're gonna have like two questions that are gonna be like the narrow down, like because you'll be able to say, well, we talked about this, we
Okay.
talked about that.
Is it ethereal?
Excuse me.
Is it ethereal?
No.
Okay. What does ethereal mean?
No. Not one question.
No, it's spirit form. I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like same
yeah,
into
spirit,
the thing.
yeah,
Is it
yeah. So, okay.
Does it have a physical form or is it in the ether?
Yeah.
No, it is. It is not in the ether.
I'm going to ask, does this primarily hunt humans?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask, is this a very well-known fantasy creature?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay. See, all right, that last question, the reason I had said that was because of the name that you gave me at the very beginning, and I was like, oh, well, last episode we did that with the hag. This one you said something about a goblin. And I was like,
throwing you off a little bit.
is it a goblin? You know,
Yeah.
something like that. So no. Oh, well, now I'm stumped. And I forgot my other questions that I had asked.
You asked if it was ethereal and if it
No.
primarily fed on humans.
It does hunt. Yeah, it hunts humans.
It hunts humans.
So, but that could be a lot of things. But if it primarily hunts humans, I'm going to assume. I'm going to say, I'm going to go with my safety pick and just say Wendigo.
Close, but no.
Yeah, close.
You'll see. So, you ready for this story?
Absolutely.
All right. This story is called Hunger That Sings. The road skirting Mono Lake cut through miles of empty desert. No houses, no traffic, just pale rock towers rising from the shoreline like the bones of something enormous buried in the earth. Tyler pulled up his truck onto the gravel, killed the engine. The silence rushed in immediately. He grabbed his camera and stepped into the cold night air. The wind carried the salty stink of the lake and the faint odor of rot from dead brine flies along the shores. All right, he whispered into the camera. Middle of nowhere, Mono Basin. Local stories talk about something that wanders these flats at night. The moon hung low and yellow. White rock spires cast long skeletal shadows across the ground, and for several minutes nothing happened. And Tyler heard it, a thin sound drifting across the lake, singing. It was quiet at first, almost like someone humming with a mouth full of gravel. The melody was wrong and broken, though. The notes dragged and cracked like dry bones rubbing together. Tyler frowned and turned towards the sound. Hello? The singing stopped instantly. The silence afterward felt heavy, like something had been listening. Then came a faint crunch. Footsteps. A slow crunch. Tyler lifted the camera towards those rock towers. Something shifted between them. At first, he thought it was a person walking through the rocks. Then the figure stepped into the moonlight. Tyler's breath caught in his throat. It was thin. Its body looked like a corpse that had been starved, skinned and stretched back onto a skeleton. Gray strips of flesh hung from its arms like rotting ribbons. Its ribs bulged outwards beneath tight skin that looked chewed, torn. Some of the ribs were even cracked. Others were missing chunks entirely. Dark blood had dried and black crust along its stomach. The creature's jaw hung open slightly. There were no lips, just exposed teeth slicked with something wet. It hummed softly as it walked. It sounded like a lullaby. The sound rattled out of the throat that looked half collapsed. The skin there gnawed open to show glimpses of spine underneath. Tyler stumbled backwards. The creature stopped. Its head turned slowly toward. Two sunken eyes stared from deep sockets, and it sniffed. The sound it made was awful. A wet inhale hissed through broken sinuses. The humming stopped. The creature spoke. I'm hungry. The word gurgled through a throat full of clotted blood. Tyler turned and ran. Gravel sprayed behind him as he sprinted for the truck. Behind him, the singing started again, but it was now louder, excited. Crunch, crunch, crunch! The footsteps were gaining. Tyler risked a glance over his shoulder. The skeletal thing was loping towards him on long, jerky limbs, its stomach splitting further with each movement. A long tear opened as its abdomen and something dark spilled out. Loops of intestine dragged behind it in the dirt. It didn't slow down. It didn't seem to care. The creature simply grabbed the dangling organs with one skeletal hand and stuffed them into its mouth while running. The bones in its jaws cracked loudly as it chewed, and Tyler screamed and dove into the truck. He slammed the door and locked it. The creature slammed in the side of the vehicle a second later. The impact rocked the truck violently. Tyler looked up. It stood in the headlights now. Up close, it was worse, much worse. The flesh along its arm has been eaten down to bone in places. The exposed ribs were coated in old bite marks, as if the creature had gnawed on itself for years. The stomach cavity hung partially open. Something inside moved. The creature leaned towards the windshield. Blood dripped from its chin. Then it smiled, if you could call that a smile, and began tapping on the glass with a long finger. Each tap left a smear of dark blood. Tyler jammed the key into the ignition. The engine roared to life, and as the truck lurched forward, the creature suddenly shrieked, and it lunged at the hood. Its face smashed against the windshield with a sickening crack, and for a split second, Tyler saw everything. The empty eye sockets, torn gums, the ragged throat moving as it tried to sing again. Then the truck hit it. The body rolled under the wheel with a wet snapping sound. Tyler sped down the road, heart pounding, leaving the lake far behind. Hours later, shaking in his apartment, he reviewed the footage from the camera. The video showed everything. The singing, the creature, the moment it slammed against the windshield. The final seconds of the recording made Tyler feel sick. Because after the truck drove away and the camera kept running, somewhere, behind the microphone, very close to the lens, came a sound. A thin voice. A wet, hungry voice. And it was still singing.
I'm stumped. I completely had a different thought of what it was. I thought it was when you said something about singing. What was the story name?
Hunger That Sings.
The Hunger That Sings. See, when you first said it, I was like, I was thinking of like mermaids, nymphs, and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure those are more European.
Surprisingly, there's a lot of those tales here in America.
Well, I know, but I'm assuming they originated.
A lot of them do, yeah.
You know, but then you started saying that this thing was on land, and now I just like, I don't even know. The picture that comes to mind is Fiddlesticks. I've been playing a lot of League, and like, I just have that
scarecrow, that horror scarecrow, spindly.
But it eating itself just because it can't. This sounds like the not the Wendigo, but the other one that was more northern, like in Canada, creature. Okay. I forgot what the name of that one is. That's like it's like the Wendigo. But they get like a frost heart and everything, the icy heart.
Oh, that was the Chinook.
The Chinook, yeah, similar to the Chinook.
It is similar to the Chinook and the Wendigo.
Because of the eating itself and the hunger, it's never satisfied. But I don't know. I
Throw in the towel?
I've got to. I don't even know what this thing could be.
It is very close to those two creatures.
Yeah.
So close that it is of Native American origin.
The one time I don't ask.
So, this is the Ninnitekati.
Be careful now.
Ninnitekati in the Mono language, or more commonly referred to, because that word is very hard to say, the walking skeleton.
Okay.
It is a chilling figure in the folklore of the Mono people. That a lot of this is based out of the region, like California, Nevada.
Oh, okay.
And that kind of in the Rockies.
Right. Yeah. Because when you said the desert too, I started thinking, okay.
It's a terrifying legend that has roots in the harsh realities of life in the Great Basin. The myth emerged as a cautionary tale warning against the dangers of extreme hunger and the lengths to which desperation can drive a person.
Mm.
The walking skeleton is described as a fearsome man-eating monster that was once human. According to the legend, this being was transformed into a walking skeleton after consuming its own flesh during a severe famine. The creature is said to have an insatiable desire for human flesh, making it a constant threat to the living. One of the most terrifying aspects of the walking skeleton is the ability to cause death simply by being seen or heard. Those who encounter the walking skeleton and hear its eerie singing or whistling are said to have fallen dead on the spot. Now, there are a couple origin stories that I saw. A lot of them link to it being like actually being a woman, because in the Mono tribe, you kind of had multiple, like you had some witchcraft legends and stuff like that. And then when this came, they
almost similar to like a banshee as well, like a hybrid of a banshee, because this
like a Wendigo and a banshee put together.
Because you said that the singing can kill.
The singing can kill, yeah. So it can literally just be like, ah!
And then being primarily a woman as well, it being okay.
So she resorted to, in famine, chewing on herself, and then once she kind of did that curse of eating human flesh, she kind of then proceeded to become this thing. The cultural significance of this thing, the Ninnetekati legend holds great cultural significance for the Mono people. It serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of community and sharing resources, especially during times of scarcity. The tale also reflects the Mono's people's deep connection to their environment and the challenges they face in the harsh landscape around Mono Lake. The walking skeleton myth is a part of rich tradition in the storytelling among the Mono people. These stories often operate on multiple levels, providing not only entertainment but also valuable lessons about living in harmony with the land and its resources. The walking skeleton legend in particular may have served as a way to discourage selfish behavior and promote cooperation within their community. Such folklore plays a crucial role in preserving traditional knowledge and values. The walking skeleton myth, like other stories in the Mono repertoire, help to sustain a proper order that has been arranged long ago, connecting present generations to their ancestors and the lands they've inhabited for centuries. That's literally all the history I could really find on this thing. That it is an oral tradition that's been passed down from generation to generation to generation within the Mono people that talk about a woman who ate herself and went crazy doing it and then proceeded to eat other people. Also, cautionary tale, hey, don't be a dick. Share your food. We don't need to make another skeleton.
Okay. Because it goes to the cannibalism.
Yeah, once it kind of goes back again to cannibalism, which is just insanity to me that so many cultures quite literally have the don't eat your friends, don't eat yourself, biting's bad.
Right. Yeah, and I'm assuming in this one, like you said, is to show the importance of sharing.
Yeah.
Within a community.
You have to take care of your
fellow man.
Pop culture wise, this monster actually came from my wife. The only thing I could find pop culture wise, and I mean this, like the idea of this thing running around this desert landscape around this lake, just like killing people and eating them, was like terrifying to me. And I'm like, dude, like we got to have like, you know, like the Wendigo came into like pop culture, like, you know, kind of blew up over, like I felt like the Wendigo blew up over like a series of like 2 years. But then you have this thing, and I'm like, this thing is almost to me even more scary. You know what I mean? Like, it can kill you with singing. It can lure you in and just be like, pow.
Well, I also think it's because the Wendigo shadows it, but then it's also potentially a banshee, but a banshee, or because of the singing, right?
Yeah.
A banshee shadows it. So it's like you got these other creatures that it could be that just are more popular.
Well, and I also think with the Wendigo, the story is in a bigger... I want to say it was the Algonquin people, which incorporates a lot of tribes.
Oh, so it was just more passed around.
I think it was more passed around.
Okay.
Whereas this is like the Mono tribe.
One
very specific tribe.
Yeah, one region.
But like I said, my wife, we were laying in bed, and she's like, "Oh, I'm reading this book, and I have a monster for you." And I was like, the fuck? Like, what? And she was like, write this down. And I was like, okay. So I wrote it down. This was mentioned in the Final Girl Support Group, a novel by Grady Hendrix, which I am currently reading another one of her books, which is My Best Friend's Exorcism, which has been very interesting so far. I'm only about a fifth of the way through the book, but it's been fun. So, yeah, that's the only pop culture that I could find like regarding this. I found like a couple like YouTube videos where they literally were like the same thing, and then I found like 2 other websites that talked about this thing.
Because what this thing also starts to transform into is essentially a zombie.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Or a ghoul.
Or ghoul as well.
Ghoul.
Yeah. But if you want to be like overshadowed with like in the entertainment or pop culture wise, zombie would be like the more because of it starves for, like, it's always starving, its guts hanging out, it'll eat itself.
Yeah, that's kind of like, crazy. Like, it punctured its abdomen and its intestines spill out and it's just chewing on them.
Yes.
All right. So this, I changed up the way the scenario goes, okay?
Okay.
To make this a little more fun, okay? So, you're at Mono Lake.
Okay.
You're camping. The moon is out. This beautiful stargazing weather. There's a cool breeze. You were in peace, right?
Okay. Absolutely.
At first, you hear the singing drifting across the lake, a thin and broken, like someone humming through the throat that barely works, and it echoes through these rock pillars. Herbert.
No, I was thinking of like it being on a JBL and it's just Fetty Wap.
1738. All right. Then you see movement. A tall figure steps from behind one of those pale rock towers, the moonlight revealing something horrifying. Ooh. The creature looks like a human skeleton wrapped in raggedy gray flesh. Its ribs jut outwards through torn skin, and some of them chewed and splintered as if it's been gnawing on its own body for years. Dark blood stains its chest. Its lips are gone. Rows of exposed teeth clack softly together as it hums. Something wet hangs from its stomach, long loops of intestines dragging the ground. The creature stops, tilts its head towards you, sniffs the air, and the singing stops. So, I made rules. You quickly realize several things. The creature moves slowly at first, but it can suddenly sprint with terrifying speed.
Okay.
It seems to be drawn to movement and sound. The closer it gets, the louder the humming becomes, almost like it's excited. Its body is thin and damaged, but it does not seem to feel pain easily. Okay?
Okay.
Your car is 80 yards away, but the creature's already between you and the shoreline path to get back to the car. Okay? So you're here, car's here 80 yards away, the creature's 40 yards here, and it's moving toward you. Okay? You have your backpack and your pockets, and in them you have your flashlight, a folding knife, a flare gun, a metal water bottle, a phone at low battery, and a lighter.
Okay.
Around you are the rock formations. So in Mono Lake, they have like these stalagmite.
Right. Oh, yeah. Right.
Like formations of rocks.
Okay.
Some loose gravel on the beach, a few broken branches of driftwood, and deep shadows between the rock towers. So as the moon is casting light towards this thing, right? So the moon's behind you. You have where these stalagmites are held up. They're casting shadows across, but you can see this thing clearly in the moonlight.
Okay. So, is there a lake?
There's a lake right next to you.
How far away is it from the lake?
30 feet.
30 feet. He's 20 feet.
He's 20 yards.
Oh, 20 yards. Okay.
Or 40 yards moving towards you pretty quickly. Like it's you see it like, and then you hear the net crick and it moves a little bit. But
you said like flashlight, flare, folding knife, and a lighter.
So flashlight, folding knife, flare gun, metal water bottle, your phone on a low battery, and a lighter.
Okay.
Giving you options is making you think, huh?
Absolutely. So what I would do is I would immediately. Okay, I'm not going to use the flashlight.
Okay.
Not using the lighter.
Okay.
I'm going to be using I'll keep the folding knife on me.
Okay.
At all times. I'm going to use the phone and the flare gun. what I'm going to do is I'm going to immediately put on, like, get ready to put, like, music playing as much as I can.
Okay.
And then I am shooting a flare, not at him, but to the side of him to make him look that way, right? And then I'm throwing the phone with the sound towards, like, tree line or rocks or somewhere in the shadow. And what I'm going to do, or either at my feet or to the left of me, and then immediately run to the water.
Okay.
Because we're going to see because I don't know how fast this thing can swim in water, but I feel like because of its intestines and everything, it's slower, way slower in water. Or it can't even swim. It just sinks.
Okay.
But I'm thinking if I can get into the water and then go around it, but it's distracted by either the sound and or the sight of the flare gun, that maybe I can divert it away.
Okay.
Instead of trying to fight this thing, but I'm going to keep the knife as the last resort.
Okay.
And that's what I'm going to do to get back to the car.
To get back to the car. Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
So I don't I don't necessarily know like if this thing could swim. I would say no.
Yeah, you would, because then it can't get you in the water.
Yeah, I would say these are things.
So this is my thought process on what you're doing, right? You shoot the flare, it distracts it for a second. You throw the phone, it distracts it for a second, right? You start splashing, it immediately is going to turn and then like skitter, like. And this is the way I view this creature, right? It stumbles like a zombie, right? It stumbles, do. But the second it gets eyes locked on to its prey,
like DayZ zombies, or
no,
like
I'm talking
World War Z zombies, or
I don't even think like DayZ is
or
it.
not DayZ, but Dying Light, not Dying Light, but what's the
28 Days Later.
I was gonna say that, or Left 4 Dead.
Yeah,
zombies.
so you know how they kind of move real fast.
Yeah.
This to me would move more like. I'm trying to think of a creature that like
sprints.
Yeah.
Yeah, World War Z.
Well, it's not just like a do. It is like a broken, very like skittery, almost like a giant spider running at you.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
But that's the best I could do. I mean, I don't know what I.
But that's the thing. If it can't swim, it's just gonna skirt the lake, trying to get to you.
Could I not just go to the other side of the lake or swim?
Mono Lake is huge.
Oh.
Like, from what I could tell, hold on, let me look it up real quick. Just
Yikes. Okay, well, then maybe I should have kept the phone and then like tried to see if I could call someone like, yo, I need to get airlifted out, or
Mono Lake is an ancient, highly saline and alkaline lake in California. It covers approximately 65 to 70 square miles. It is roughly 13 miles long and 9 miles wide, with an average depth of 43 to 57 feet and a maximum depth of 159 feet. So it's quite large.
So I'm gonna be honest with you,
brother. If you say I'm gonna swim 9 miles, I'm taking you to the pool and I'm gonna make you swim 9 miles.
I think I can do that.
I don't think you can.
I think I can do that because you're underestimating the human adrenaline of fear. I think you're really underestimating how much fear can make you go.
I don't think so.
I think that you can swim. The human body would let me go. My brain receptors would unleash all my muscles to just.
Brother, I don't think so.
I am not Michael Phelps up in there. All right, I am gone.
Yeah, you think?
I'm gonna get a cramp on my shit.
Yeah,
and drown.
You're gonna get a chest cramp and immediately go, and then that hand's gonna reach in and pull you up. Okay, that's the whole thing. It's like I feel like in that scenario, it's gonna skirt back and forth. Now, granted, I make the fucking scenarios, so I have thought processes that he doesn't get. So what I'm doing is I'm shooting the motherfucker in the chest with a flare gun, right, and hoping that it catches on fire because it's a dried out old body. Thump. and then I got to deal with a fire thing. I'm also probably climbing or attempting to climb one of the rock pillars with the folding knife so I can just stab down at it as it tries to climb up. I can just like...
I'm sure it doesn't feel pain.
I'm sure it doesn't feel pain either, but if I can take its teeth and its fans, like, I'm going to do that.
I mean, if you could get its lower jaw, if you could break or cut off its lower jaw, and then it's you only have to worry about its finger. Like, I'm sure they're probably strong or sharper too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's it. That's the only thing you need to worry about.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think...
I respect you using the gear.
But
I fuck with that hard.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, there's... Oh, the water bottle. I was going to keep that as like a...
Dong!
Yeah, I was.
I'm going to put it in his mouth.
I was. I was going to fill it with water while I'm swimming, and then if the thing comes to me, I could shove it in his mouth so that I don't get bit, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
I mean, it's... But... Again, you would have to
Have you ever heard somebody drop like a hydro flask? It's like, yeah. You just cracking it in the head with that. Bing.
But like, you need to... How accurate is a flare gun, truthfully?
Probably pretty accurate at 20 yards. I don't know. I got to get a flare gun now. We'll try it.
It's one of those things where...
That's what we can film that for Patreon. Check that out.
What?
Coming soon. We'll take one of my Halloween skeletons. We'll dress it up. And then we'll put it out there, and then we'll shoot it with a flare gun.
Just to see.
And just to see at 20 yards if I could hit it.
Okay. I'm down.
So, you're just getting in the water. Interesting. Trying to get back to the car. That's obviously the right choice. Evade and try to get back to the...
I mean...
I'm just hoping, because, like, my whole thing is if this thing comes out of the rocks at night, and I'm out here camping, I'm the only one fucking there, like... I'm hoping it has an aversion to sunlight, and I just have to fight it off till morning.
Yeah, I mean...
And maybe there's, like, maybe if I climb one of these rock formations, maybe there's, like, a chunk of rock I can just use as, like, a hammer and just really throw it at it. But,
if Minecraft taught me anything, you're saved by the sun.
Yeah.
Actually...
So, you ready for this?
Sure.
Welcome to the Monster Movie Maker Moment. Brought to you by the Ghosts and Ghouls podcast. Today, we're talking about the Ninnitikati, the walking skeleton of the Mono people legend. The Mono people myth coming from the Mono people of California. Mm-hmm. All right, you think about it.
Yeah, I absolutely
Brother,
have nothing.
So there's no movies.
Yeah.
Obviously about this thing. I had just like the darkest, grittiest fucking movie. Where, have you seen the clip of the guy who's like in the super claustrophobic space, and he looks up, and there's like a woman there smiling at him that's all decrepit, and he like freaks out and he blinks and she's gone. Like, he's crawling through the crawl space of his house, right? And he looks over, and that's there, and it disappears that fast. Boom, right? You ever been in a crawl space?
Mm-hmm.
Watching this shit, look, bam, that quick. So,
I've seen that scene.
So I had this idea of a movie where a couple goes to Mono Lake, right? They're on their way out there, and I have the idea is you have the car coming up, right? And you have the headlights, and then you see the skeletal ankles step out, and then it turns towards the car, and the car locks up, and then you just see it, poof, right, get hit, and then you the car slides over top of the camera, right, and then you just see the red lights, and you see the tire marks, right?
Yeah.
And you can hear the oh my god, and you hear the car shut off, and people get out, and they run around and feet, and then the camera starts panning towards them, and it's a man and a woman, and he's like, oh my god, I didn't see her, blah blah blah. Where's what happened? Where'd she go? And they're looking for this woman that they just smoked.
Right.
And all of a sudden he screams, she gets back in the car and drives off, right?
Okay.
So then there's a series of I'm gonna have to get fucking rid of that because that shit just keeps popping up and freaking me the fuck out. So from there, you have the story goes, the reporting goes crazy that this guy and his girlfriend went out, he got mauled by a mountain lion or something, just drug his ass off, and there was no fucking whatever. And the police refuse to go up there because it is protected by the Native American, by the
like a
Monos.
reservation. Yeah.
It's a reservation. And they're like, you don't understand, like, there's public access. And they're like, yeah, we get that, but we don't go, like, we're not going to go investigate it. Obviously, it was a mountain lion. Like, nothing's going to drag your husband, like, your boyfriend off like that, like, whatever. Q podcaster comes in. He's like, oh, shit, like, this could be my big break. We could figure out what happened to this guy, right? Like, he's like a true crime podcaster. So he pairs up with this chick who everybody's like, hey, you're crazy. Like, take the L, girl. Like, your boyfriend's gone.
Yeah.
So he goes up there and starts trying to, like, talk to the Mono tribe and, like, talk to the people, talk to the elders, and they're just like, no, like, get the fuck out. So he goes up there to recreate at night, and he sees it, right?
Okay.
But the thing chases him into, like, because it's all rocky, so he runs, like, is running from it, like, tries to get back in his car, can't get back in the car, the thing's approaching the car. He runs past it, and then he hides in, like, an outcropping of a cave, right?
Right.
So he's, like, there, and then the thing comes, and then he backs up, and then he's basically, like, it's pushing him into the cave. And then, so then he, like, gets down, and he starts backing up this way, and then all of a sudden it runs off. But then it's like a cat and mouse game while he's crawling around trying to get out, as this thing is using the tunnels around him to try to, like, lure him. And then he's finding, like, human bones, like skulls and stuff where this thing has been feeding and eating and eating and eating. And eventually the girl comes up and finds him, and they save him, right? Pulls him out. It's like, oh my God. Like, he's like, no, you don't understand. We got to get the fuck out of here. Like, this shit's crazy. So they leave, but when they go to leave, the Native Americans kind of, like, stop them. And they're like, hey, like, sorry, you can't leave. Like, now you know our problem. Like, this thing has been existing here. And it's like, well, what do you mean this thing has been existing here? And then they tell the story, and they have, like, this really gnarly flashback, right?
Right.
And you see a Native American woman they're obviously starving, right? And she just is, like, sitting there, like just dry, cracked lips, like they're dehydrated, they're starving. And she just looks down, and she just starts chewing on her nail, right? And she just takes a too big of a bite and just, like, ugh, and then just, like, starts sucking on her finger and, like, sucking the blood. And then she just have to take another little bite, and she just keeps doing that again and again. And then all of a sudden she's down into her, like, the webbing of her hand, and she just chomps down, eats, and then, like, sped up, like, she bites off her own tongue, swallows that, like, and she's just eating herself, like, biting her lips off. And it's just like this super, like, gritty, like really choppy camera, like almost like it's under a strobe light as she's doing it to herself.
I was even thinking, like, having it to where, like, she's sitting at a fire and then the camera's behind, so you just see her back and then the fire.
I like that too.
You just hear the munching
and the crunching,
sounds.
and then, like, what are you eating? She turns around, her lips are gone, teeth are all bloody, there's blood all down, her tongue's gone, she's chewing on her hand, and she's just like, oh, I'm hungry, you know, because she doesn't have a tongue, she can't really talk. And they're like, oh my God. And then she runs off into the desert to, like, and then she becomes the walking skeleton. And come to find out, like, the leader of the tribe, it's like his great grandmother. And so, like, every so often people come up to the lake and they just kind of let her just do her thing. And that's where she's dragging them all back into, is this cave, and she's eating them, right? And so they're like, so we can't let you go because it incriminates us, because we know this monster's here, but it's one of our oldest members. Like, we can't let you kill it.
So they've been doing, like, a sacrifice or a ritual sacrifice of...
Not even like a ritual sacrifice.
Not a ritual. Sorry, not a ritual sacrifice, but just a human sacrifice to appease it.
I don't even think it's like that. I think it's just like we turn a blind eye every now and again so it can live.
Oh.
And it's like, oh my God. Because it doesn't fuck with the tribe. It only fucks with the outsiders. Because that's kind of how, like, the barrier's been set up. I see what you're saying. Okay. So they end up kind of pushing it back, like pushing them back towards the cave, right? And the thing comes out and it pulls them into the cave, right? The people leave while they're scampering, trying to get around it. You know, like kick it in the face. You know, like it's biting on them. It's doing all this stuff, trying to attack them. And then they hit it and it stops moving. Like smoke it in the head with a rock. It's down, right? Mm-hmm. You know, twitching.
Yeah.
Like they think they've won. They're like, okay, we got it. They know the way out. They crawl out, right? They're all gored up. They're all covered in bones. She found her boyfriend. Like his coat is all shredded up. Like it's obviously him. Like bits of his, hair is like. I had just this visceral image where like it bit down and like pulled cheek out and like pulled. So like his eye's still hanging there and the flesh is like off of his face. Right, it's a skull, but like all the meat's still hanging there. Like it's got his necklace on. Like scalp is pulled off and intact, but you can tell like this thing has just been like munched into his head and his brains are gone. Like just really just grotesque, like broken body. And then they get out. They're all like cut up from the rocks and crawling around. Their elbows are all scored up. Faces are all cut. Maybe one of them took like a gnarly like claw slash across the face and like their forehead's been bleeding down the side of their face. They're like, oh, okay, it's over with. And then you just see the hands reach out and grab the dude's ankles and just drop him and just yank. And then just like, you just see the rocks cut them all up, gore line as he just drug down into the cave. And she screams and then the movie ends. Like, she got out. He dies, like reporter, podcaster, true crime guy dies. But I want it to have like that undertones of like, it's got to be true crime. I'm going to help her find her thing. But then they discover something on the more supernatural side.
Right.
And like, boom.
Dang. Okay. I see that.
But I just had this like hard gore, like just the most.
Yeah.
I can picture this thing like coming up to the car and like doing the tap tap tap, like wanting to get in. It walks over and it's like trying to figure out because it's old, and so it's like trying to figure out the door handles and it's like shaking on the car and the car's shaking, and then it's just like it walks around and looks and looks and looks and looks and looks and then it crawls up on the car and then down across the car, and then it gets up and it just is looking in the in the window and it just goes. It just like blows the window out with his head and it's like
oh god,
like because that's the thing, I don't want it to be like sentient in terms of like,
well no, it's driven by instinct.
Yeah, exactly. It is a hunter through and through, but it just knows that it doesn't hunt these people.
Yeah,
like it doesn't hunt these people because it knows it's people.
It is familial instincts as well. It's like I got you. I was going on a similar route of being very horror-wise. I was actually thinking about it being towards the... I don't think it's called... I don't know if it was the Oregon Trail. No. Sorry.
The game?
Not that. Yeah, it was based off of the Journey or whatever.
The Trail of Tears.
Trail of Tears. I couldn't think of it for it. Not that. Sorry. But it was during the expansion of the Pilgrims moving to the west.
Okay,
right.
As European settlers moved west.
European settlers going that, and they're more going to the west. And I would see like this group, maybe they go through, and then of course they meet the Mono tribe during its time. And I would say that even they exchange because they have the tradition of helping communities, and they help these new settlers. Because they've shown kindness, and even the settlers showed kindness because they're tired of all the fighting. Yeah. They've had their own deals of war on the east side. That's why they're escaping to the west. And I kind of want to have it like that. And so they've lost...
Oh, like a cowboy horror?
Yes, and they've lost so much, especially the guy's daughter, right?
Okay.
She's full, like, depression. Like, eyes in. She hasn't eaten for days. She has not eaten for days. They're talking to the settler, to the tribe. They're offering food, feast, and she, refuses. And they kind of like side eye her a little bit, and just kind of start keep trying to pass her stuff. Like, hey, eat. Here's some soup. Here's some chili. Here's some vegetables. Here's stuff.
Yeah.
And even when she doesn't take it, she just she can't fathom it because she's had so much loss, depression, or whatever. But they go into the storytelling of all this stuff, and they talk about a creature based off of cannibalism instead, but they don't go into full details about it. Anyway, she starts getting bad. Like, she starts getting the symptoms of hunger.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I want it to start transforming as they start, because they leave the tribe, they carry on, but the tribe starts noticing a lot more symptoms, as in the nails are starting to get bit down way far, or whatever. Her lips, of course, crusted, like you said in yours.
On her lip,
a lot
on the
more
inside of her lip.
Exactly, they see her doing that a lot of the times, but you can just have this picture of, okay, we need to move on. They go, and the tribe just all gathers together and just looks at them as they leave, because they know something that's happening. And
I just had an epiphany, horror movie, right? Europeans, settlers into Western expansion, right? You have the cowboys, you have all this stuff, right?
Yes.
They come across, they meet the tribe.
Yeah.
The tribe does have legends of witchcraft.
Yes.
They inflict this guy's daughter with the witchcraft, where she doesn't eat, or all food that she eats tastes terrible to her. Right?
Oh, and she's projected vomits, or
yeah,
something like that.
just gets violently ill until
the human flesh,
until she human fleshes it, and she's starving. But then you would have the sickest fucking Western, you know how Sinners did Southern gangsters coming from Chicago, fighting vampires. You could literally have cowboys fighting zombies, or fighting a supernatural zombie, right?
Oh yeah,
and it's just
the cowboy Indian versus the zombies situation. I kind of wanted to have it like that, right? To where, especially the witchcraft could happen.
But that's the inkling of hey, we're just we don't want them here. We're gonna give them a little bit of a blight.
I wouldn't say all of them. I would say maybe a more scornful member of the tribe is just hates these settlers because she's remembered them or whatever from the early days of the settlers, and so she just witchcraft.
Yep, I'm gonna delve into the dark arts. I'm gonna blight this poor little girl. She's gonna lose her fucking mind. She's gonna starve to death, and he's gonna have to watch. And then she's starts nibbling, and then that's the one
because she was already at depressed and everything, full on depression, eyes sunken. Could tell you haven't slept well.
You could. Oh my god! Did you ever watch Evil Dead?
Yes.
The remake where the girl licks the knife and splits her tongue.
Yes.
Yes. So you could have it that kind of grit. You know what I mean? They're all dirty, they're all this, they're all that, and then you just look over and she's just just bites down on her lip and it's just blood.
I would even have it to where
Sam Raimi, direct this movie.
I was even thinking too is that some of the Indian tribe members are they want to help these people, but the only way to get rid of that is that they have to kill her.
Yeah.
They
have to kill her before she turns.
Exactly. There's no reverse.
And he's so reluctant to do it.
And he's tries to protect her, so now it's this hunt, they're on the run now because he's thinking they're just hunting them down because they're settlers, of course, and it's just another tribe versus settlers war, and he's just tired of it. But in reality is they're trying to save that man because or save even the group, whatever, because she's turning into
the second she becomes it, she's immortal and she's not gonna die to knives, bows, and gunfire.
No, I would even say that they would probably have a tradition of they would have to cut off its head, its limbs, bury it, burn it, and to burn its bones and all that stuff. Probably would be in part of its tradition. I don't know it.
This also kind of reminds me of the tones in the was it Abigail? I think was the movie name. It was about the guys who it's a crew of criminals who are paid to go kidnap this trillionaire, billionaire, whatever, his daughter, and they
Yeah.
hold her for ransom. And she like they turn out like she's a vampire, and she just starts shredding them to fucking death. Like,
Yeah.
but I'm like, dude, like that's kind of like a cool, because you could have like that teenage girl who's like,
Yeah.
like maybe her mom died on the trail, and she's already a little like that's why she's susceptible to the witchcraft because she's already in a dark place.
Like older brother,
Yeah.
he's lost his son, so he doesn't want to lose another kid as well.
Yep. So he's super protective. He gets there. He's trying. The other person's like, no, well, your people killed my like,
Blah, blah,
like
blah.
your people. Not like, yeah, I get my people might have killed your two people, but your people killed thousands of my people. So blight, and then boom.
Yeah, but they never meet the witch. I don't want this to they meet the witch or whatever because the curse. Maybe towards the end they understand how it happened.
Yeah.
Because they see signs of witchcraft on her. Even the tribe members in the end they see it and they're like, we gotta cast her out for even attempting this. But I would say that there's probably a scene too where he's backed up to a corner of like a rock formation. And she's behind him, and he's like torch, maybe even a gun with like a bullet left.
Yeah.
And it's like a group of the Indians or whatever, the Mono tribe, just like trying to like,
hey,
we're ready. And like he's like, I'm gonna defend her with my life. This is my daughter, whatever. And then in the back, you just see her like, she starts crying, and he's like, it starts like the sound starts being muffled because she's chewing on her tongue.
Yeah.
And he's just like. And crying, and then the hair, the black hair goes down over, and then she looks up, and it's just like he could tell like these eyes of just and she jumps onto him. He loses the pistol, but like in the end,
it would almost be cool if you saw the witchcraft happen. You saw the witch, right?
Yeah.
She thinks she's gotten away with it. They watch him die, right? They try to the tribe watches the guy die, tries to intervene, but then they're like, "Hey, you made this, go deal with it," and they force her to face this thing.
No, I want him to be like survive, right? Because they get her off. They don't kill her because she runs off.
Yeah.
But she knows the witch. She like feels it.
Yeah.
And she goes back to the tribe, but like on the way, she's just leaving this blood path of like eating carcasses. She's ripping off.
She's ripping herself apart.
Ripping herself apart. But like it meets like some of the Indians on the way as well, that are some of the tribe members that are on the way to help. And then she goes through like the camp or whatever. But like the father's like, what just happened? Blah 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 blah. It's like, we got to go kill her. And I would see it as like using that final bullet on her, maybe to stop her.
Yeah.
Or either chooses the witch, and he. Just
I had a really interesting shot in my mind for that little girl and the witch going at it, right? Where it's shot from the lake, right? And the lake's like glass still, so you have the two of them on the shoreline, like off in the distance. You can see both of them, and you can see the reflections in the water, like pulling far back to you. Right, and then she just trucks her, and then it's just gore.
Yeah,
and then like the water starts to like dilute because of the blood spilling into the water, and it starts just like cascading out, and she's just in there just ripping intestines.
That's
and,
where
like,
I want.
You see like an arm flip off, like almost like.
But that's also where I would like to see the father come up and find her, just
goring her, and then he just.
Absolutely. And
you could do it in such a way, right? That happens, and he limps off, right? Drops the gun, he limps off, right? Just still hurt, right? And then credits roll, whatever, or maybe he goes back and he sits down with the tribe and they kind of induct him into the tribe, whatever, right? Credits roll, end credit, moon's real low, you have all the lighting, like all the silhouettes of everything, and you see her just like sit up, and you can just see like her mouth open, like nose gone, like you can see almost like the exit wound just like blew out the front of her face, and it's just like the skeleton getting up, and then she just like creaks up and just walks off. It's like, oh fuck.
Absolutely, yeah. That's kind of where I was going with it when I heard about like the tribe, and then I was just thinking about, the Western movement of
Yeah.
new settlement and all that, because that was the original, like,
I dig it.
we're getting yeah. So
I dig it. I would love to see a Western, like a cowboy horror film like that. That would be a fucking sick one.
Because that's how The Sinners was, as well as, like, it started all as well as hunting down this vampire, the Indian tribe, whatever.
Yeah.
They were hunting him down, and I was like, oh, I would love to have that aspect in there too in the movie, but they didn't really touch upon it as well.
I didn't think
I didn't hate it, but I
don't
also was
think
like, oh,
they necessarily needed it to be
no, it was more of like, oh, that's a plus.
I think it added to the time, because that was kind of the other thing too, is with Sinners, you felt like you were watching two different movies.
No, yeah, so don't get me wrong, the entire movie was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I just thought, oh,
that would have been
cool.
wanted more Native American kind
Well, no, when I saw that it
Yeah.
had Native Americans
Yeah.
in it, I was like, oh, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and I still enjoyed it.
They spent too much on Michael B. Jordan and made him play two parts.
I swear,
they paid too much. So
they had to double his salary, just
But yeah, that was kind of my, like, I wanted that grisly, like, hey, we got out, like,
absolutely,
the descent tunnels almost, like, hey, we did it, we're out. No, we're not. And then, like, old girl just like, as you hear just like the cracking of this dude dying. And then credits roll. It wins. It always wins. The bad guy wins.
That's all I got for mine. And yeah.
Somebody picked this movie idea up. Come to us. Well, send us an email. The email's in the description.
That's gonna be it for the Ghosts and Ghouls episode of this. I forgot what the name of the story is.
Ninni Tikati.
Ninni Tikati?
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of the episode for the Ninni Tikati.
Ninni Tikati.
The Walking Skeleton.
Walking Skeleton.
If you guys enjoyed this, please go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on for any notifications to stay updated for when we post, as well as follow us on our Instagram, TikTok, and to go ahead and help us out by, going to the link in the description below. Just support us, as well as leave a review. And also, again, we're doing uncut, unedited episodes on Patreon as well for $1.
No softies.
Yep. And then if you guys,
because I'm probably gonna say something that's gonna upset some people.
Absolutely. And then at the
ghost pussy.
Gosh. And if you're watching the Monster Movie Maker moment, and if you want to see the full context of this, please go to the Ghosts and Ghouls podcast episode. It should be around over here somewhere. And and then that's it for this episode. That's way too high. Down. Like, okay. All right. Ghosts and Ghouls.